whether we had mulliganed or not would not have mattered. We would have just died here on turn 2, so that's great. They Nourishing Shoal immediately to gain some life. What is this? Voracious Worm, 2 mana, 9/9. Okay, let's get real. Our match against Mill in round 1 was insanely lucky for us, and we can't rely on that kind of luck again. We are playing some Oblivion Stone here, and if you don't even know what this card does, then check out match 1, and I'll tell you why we're playing it very gladly. But for now, let's not go into that. I will see you guys in the games. Alright, let's hop on in here. Alright, we want a good Oblivion Stone matchup. That's the goal. I just want to play against one matchup that's good for Oblivion Stone. Playing against Sahak Vic. I have no clue if I'm saying that right. We got a turn 2 Explore. You know that means I'm going to snap keep. In all seriousness, though, I mean, this hand, if we found a 3-drop, it wouldn't really be that bad. Turn 2 Explore into turn 3 3-drop actually makes our turn 4 Titan a lot more likely, and we have all the lands we need, including several untapped sources, which is nice. It's kind of debatable. If we're playing against a slower deck, then this hand will be fine as well, so hopefully our opponent's playing a blue deck of some sort. We'll just lead on the Valcut here and pass it back. Who knows? Maybe we're playing red-green Titan Shift. Our opponent plays a Waterlogged Grove. Don't know if that bodes poorly for us or well for us. If it's Infect playing a turn 2 Blighted Agent, then it's really not good for us, but if it's not, then it's probably great for us. I think we just have to expose Bounce Lane here. I don't love it. Gives us access to another untapped source here, and, you know. Alright, 3-drop off the top. Snow-covered Island means our opponent is playing something slow and blue. Quite possibly. Not necessarily slow. Waterlogged Grove is a weird one. That is not slow and blue. That is not slow and blue. Neoform. Okay, so we basically just lose here unless our opponent loses the game through their game actions. Basically, they're gonna use this Allosaurus Rider Neoform synergy here to get their 8-drop Grizzlebrand into play at the cost of a ton of cards, but in exchange, they can pay 7 life to draw 7 cards, and that's pretty good. They're going to draw a bunch of cards, use things like Mox Amber to generate some mana, as in fact they do have a legendary Grizzlebrand on the battlefield now. So if they use several Mox Ambers and some Mana Filtration and Spring Leaf Drum and some other stuff, along with some life gain, they basically just get to draw their whole deck, play a Lab Maniac, and then literally draw their whole deck and win the game. But of course, if they just don't go off here, then they're going to have things like Summoner's Pact to pay for and basically just die on their next turn. Assuming they don't have the lands in play to pay for it. Our opponent's at exactly 0 cards in deck. They have enough mana, enough life to draw another 7 cards here, and they have Mox Ambers galore, Springleaf Drum to make a blue. We are dead here to our opponent's Lab Maniac combo, so I'm going to let them show it to us, but we are dead here. Hey, at least there was nothing we could do, and whether we had mulligan or not would not have mattered. We would have just died here on turn 2, so that's great. I don't know if we even have anything for this matchup. There's the Lab Maniac, as I was saying, and the win. Alright, so down a game. We want Pactum Negation. Why? I don't know. Yeah. I guess we want Grazers to try to get the maximum speed here, and obviously Explorers are horrible. Reclamation Sage to potentially blow up an artifact seems totally irrelevant, because their artifacts are like Mox Amber. They cost 0, and they just play them all in one turn anyways. They're not usually going to play them out early. So I doubt that Sage is relevant here. Oh, Stone is funny. We could potentially use it to kill a Grizzlebrand after having invested 3 mana in playing it. Seems horrible, as you might expect. Bog does nothing here. Probably better to have a Force of Vigor. I don't know. To be honest, it doesn't matter. Actually, I guess we'd rather have a Rex Sage. To be honest, we'd rather have none of it. I guess we'd actually rather have an Explorer, as with double Amulet, it lets us get to a turn 2 Titan pretty easily. And Ghost Quarter, probably not relevant. I'd rather have an Explorer than a Ghost Quarter. That's probably about it. Although Ghost Quarter does play Amulet on 1, which is quite crucial in this matchup. Maybe we should be keeping the Ghost Quarter for that reason. Other Into the Battlefield tap lands are good to go, though. We can get rid of nothing, because we don't have any other relevant Into the Battlefield tap lands that we would want to cut. Not even Colony Garden. It's not in the list. Alright, good to go. Run it back. We just need to have the absolute nuts hand. This is not the absolute nuts hand. This has a turn 1 amulet, which makes it kind of close. We can Summoner's Pact for a Azusa here, and potentially play Titan on turn 3. Don't get to play turn 1 amulet, but perhaps we don't need to. I am going to keep this. Probably need to ship the Vesuva here, I think. We're likely to draw some lands, so. Turn 1 Valakut. Opponent reveals Chancellor of the Tangle. That's going to give them a green mana on this upcoming main phase for them. Could be dead on turn 1 here. Who knows? We'll just yield through this turn. We don't got nothing. Don't worry about it. They Nourishing Shoal immediately to gain some life. What is this? Voracious Worm, 2 mana, 9/9. That's a dude. Okay, well, here's an amulet. I think we're meant to explore here. It's kind of a waste of an explore. I guess it's not if we draw exactly a land, so we can play Missy and land. And then the turn after, we can play Growth Chamber, 3, leave 2 up, play Pact for Azusa, play it, and then get Titan into play. I think we are supposed to explore here. Land is good. Second amulet is good, so for that reason, I'm not going to yield to the trigger. Keeping the bounce land in hand here, obviously. Alright, land is fine. Oh, wait, we can't even play it. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Our opponent has Voracious Worm in play. Did you guys see this one coming? I didn't. Springleaf Drum, alright. Turn 1 Voracious Worm. Who would have known? Who would have known? We don't even have any chump blockers. There's Azusa. I mean, I guess we're playing Azusa. Can we Pact for Grazer and Titan this turn? Very possibly. See, so we play Azusa. That's 4/5. Grazer lets us... Yeah, Grazer lets us Titan. Do we have Grazers in the deck? We do. Alright, alright. Let's float our mana here before we start casting Summoner's Pact, just to make sure we can actually get this Titan guy into play. Are we about to get punished versus Neoform of all decks for not having a Colony Garden? Unreal. I'm telling you guys. Unreal. Unbelievable. Let's be honest. If we lose this matchup to Voracious Worm, that's totally fine with me, considering we're not ever supposed to win against Neoform anyway, so at least we have one of these cool little Pact for Grazer to put Titan into play lines that comes up seldom, but it is a thing. And let's just leave the bounce lane in play at this point, I guess. Pick up the Valakut so we have more green sources to pay for our Pact triggers, of course. And I guess gaining 2 life is semi-relevant, as it does give us potentially an additional turn. Probably not. I guess just Talari West, actually, and something else. Radiant Fountain doesn't seem that bad. We do have a Pact to pay for. Garrison doesn't make a lot of sense. We want a land that stays in play here. It could just be double Talari West. Don't hate that. That said, we could have a bounce land in hand, assuming our opponent doesn't have some way to play like Beast within this upcoming turn. So I'm going to get the Simic here, just to make sure that we have the mana potentially to transmute our Talari West. And we'll just pick up the T-West here. I was definitely meant to pick up the bounce land. That's alright, though. We'll pay, we'll attack with our Titan and get a bounce land and set up some stuff. I don't know what I was just doing. Hopefully our opponent is all in on this Voracious Worm and can't Neoform us anytime soon, and we're just going to win because they have this against us when they should just combo kill us with Neoform. Remember when I said I was going to be playing better this match? I guess I was lying. Summoner's Pact. Alright, so we can actually get Dryad into play before attacking and get Vesuva copying Valakut and second Valakut for 3, and just us have additional land drops after as well, so yeah, that's probably the play. In fact, we can even use Mystery Rainforest to get extra triggers, so Summoner's Pact definitely fixes our mistake here, as we were going to be setting up a Dryad with all the mana from the bounce land anyways, so go to combat, swing. Yup. We want Valakut and Vesuva. I'm not playing around our opponent having something crazy like Dismember. There's no reason for them to have that in their deck. At least I would say. Save targets. Sack these amulets. Always yes. A couple of these things right here. Always yield. If our opponent has anything to say about any of this, no. Cool. You know, this is just the league of stealing games against otherwise horrible matchups. I'm into it, though. I mean, I don't think we want Oblivion Stone for Voracious Worm, of all things. Run it back. If our opponent wants to Voracious Worm us again and not Neoform us, I'm totally fine with that. Clearly, we can beat a Voracious Worm. It's not the first time our 6/6 has matched up against a creature without trample and gone the distance. Not super unheard of. This hand is relatively fast as well. All the Garenbrigs in the world, but we can play turn 1 Ghost Quarter Amulet, turn 2 Garenbrig Scout, and then the turn after a bounce land lets us play Titan, so I think it's a keep. If we top deck a green source, we can play turn 1 Scout here to speed things up even more, perhaps. Although turn 3 Titan is just turn 3 Titan. Nothing wrong with that. Probably going to lose turn 2 to the Neoform combo again, but at least we have a Scout to chump block a Voracious Worm, which is kind of nice if we have to do that. No bounce land, who needs it? Chancellor of the Tangle has been revealed once again. An extra mana. Seems fair. Extremely fair. Oh, Voracious Worm coming back into play. Whew, got a Voracious Worm, everyone. There's our green source for turn 1 Scout, which we will play. Next turn we'll play Amulet. We'll block with a Scout and then flash in a land, or maybe even not block with a Scout. I don't know, that depends. Definitely not blocking this turn. Absolutely no reason to do that. Here's Amulet. Garenbrig, I do suppose. We'll pass. I suppose, yeah, we don't even have a Titan yet, so we kind of need this Scout. If we top deck a Titan, then having Scout in play will mean that we're actually able to cast the Titan, and otherwise we can block with Scout another turn from now, so we just have to take this 9, actually. Can we please beat Voracious Worm once again? Come on, deck. Beat Voracious Worm. That's the plan. Very cool. This little juke here from our opponent, though. Voracious Worm in the Neoform deck is not something I've ever seen before. Is it good enough in Neoform? I have no clue. I feel like this is a plan that we can beat, whereas the usual Neoform plan is not something that we can beat, so... a 2/2 Voracious Worm. Okay. Totally fine here. Not a problem at all. Bounce land. Yeah, that does nothing. This exact 2 points of damage is killing us. Alright, I think we're just dead here. We can't make double blue from the T-West and still be able to transmute here, so yeah, we're just, we're done. It's over. It's alright, we were never supposed to win against Neoform anyways. Well, at least that is a deck that we have not seen in a very long time, and here it comes back in a different form. We got to see the Labman kill in Game 1, and we got to see our opponent Voracious Worm us in Games 2 and 3, and even beat one of those 2 games, so I count that as a win. And, of course, we're always learning. I did not know that there was still a form of Neoform that was particularly playable. I knew that the Mox Amber replacement for the Simian Spirit Guides was a thing, but never seen Voracious Worm, and that's very cool. Anyways, we're currently 1-1. Have not even gotten to sideboard in our Oblivion Zones yet, so stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys in round 3. This is Redface Menace, signing off.